Humans have lived in Afghanistan for almost 100,000 years. Archaeologists believe that the earliest settlers of the Hindu Kush area may have been some of the world's first farmers. In 135 BCE, five tribes from Central Asia invaded Afghanistan, bringing the Buddhist religion with them. The tribes fought for control, and the Kushan tribe won. Under Kushan rule, the tribes conquered Afghanistan. The giant statue of Buddha was carved in the 5th century CE. In March 2001, the Taliban government tore it down. The arrival of Islam. In the 7th century CE, Arab armies brought the Islamic religion to Afghanistan, but most people went back to their old beliefs when the Arabs left. The practice of Islam was revived in the 11th century with the Ghaznavid dynasty's rise to power. Its rulers also spread their faith to Pakistan, Iran, and parts of India. In 1219, Genghis Khan invaded the country and ruled until his death in 1227. Soon after, Afghanistan broke into smaller states ruled by chiefs or prince. In the late 1300s, new rulers known as the Timurids brought a period of peace that lasted 100 years. After Timurid rule ended in 1507, Afghanistan was ruled mainly by two Islamic powers, the Mughal Empire from India and the Safavid dynasty of Persia, now Iran. By the end of the 17th century, a powerful ethnic group known as the Pashtuns began to emerge. In 1747, Ahmad Shah Durrani, a Pashtun military commander, formed his own empire which covered present-day Afghanistan, Pakistan and parts of Iran and India. Today he is considered by many Afghans to be the founder of their country. Alexander the Great brought great culture to the many lands he conquered. In 327 BCE, Alexander the Great invaded Afghanistan. More conflicts. War returned to Afghanistan in the 19th century as the country was caught between the power struggles of Britain and Russia. Britain went to war with Afghanistan twice and seized control of its foreign affairs. The British were thus able to prevent Russia from having any relations with Afghanistan. They feared that Russia would enter Afghanistan to invade India, which was an important British colony. By 1901, Britain and Russia had agreed upon Afghanistan's borders, which are still in use today. Even though there was now peace between Britain and Russia, Afghanistan was tired of British influence. In 1919, the Third Anglo-Afghan War broke out. This time the Afghans under Amanullah Khan forced the British out of the country and declared Afghanistan an independent nation. In 1880, politicians from Persia, now Iran and Britain met in Kabul, which is Afghanistan's capital city. From a monarchy to republic, Amanullah Khan tried to make the nation more modern, but some of the country's ethnic and religious groups thought his reforms went too far. The disagreement started a civil war in 1928, and Amanullah was eventually overthrown by Habibullah Talatani in 1929. Talatani, however, did not stay in power long. Within the same year, he was defeated by Muhammad Nadir Shah, who was backed by the British Army. Afghanistan then became a monarchy, and Nadir Shah became its first king. The monarchy lasted less than 50 years. In 1973, Mohammad Daud Khan, who was prime minister from 1953 to 1963, overthrew the monarchy and changed Afghanistan's system of government to republic. He declared himself the country's first president. In August 1961, Mohammad Daud Khan, who was then Prime Minister of Afghanistan, visited Yugoslavia and met with the country's leader Marshal Tito. International conflict and the Taliban. While Daud Khan tried to stabilize Afghanistan, the internal conflict continued, including both nationwide revolts as well as 10 years of fighting with the Soviet Union. In the late 1990s, a group called the Taliban took over in Afghanistan. Under the Taliban's harsh control, the Afghan people, especially women and girls, lost many of their human rights. In 2001, American, British, and Afghan fighters banded together to overthrow the Taliban government. Afghan soldiers celebrate the return of Zahir Shah, the country's last king. Zahir was forced from power when Mohammad Daud Khan took over. After 30 years in exile, Zahir returned to Afghanistan on April 18, 2002. Amanullah Khan, 1892 to 1960. In 1919, Amanullah Khan initiated Afghanistan's third war with Britain. This month-long conflict brought about the country's independence. Because of his unpopular reforms, Amanullah Khan was forced out of Afghanistan in 1929. Mina Kashewar Kamal, 1957 to 1987. A strong supporter of freedom, Mina Kashewar Kamal fought to gain equal rights for women by founding a group, the Revolutionary Association of the Women of Afghanistan. She also worked to end Soviet control in Afghanistan. Mohammad Daud Khan, 1909 to 1978. Mohammad Daud Khan made many educational and social reforms during his 10-year term as Afghanistan's prime minister. By forcing his cousin Zahir Shah out of power in 1973, he made Afghanistan a republic. He was killed in the coup led by the communists.